Maybe the lion is the king of animals, but not all inhabitants of Africa agree with this. Look at the buffalo beating the lion. The predator probably regretted attacking this monster. A lion flies over the head of a huge herbivore and tries to escape. Now we will show other cases when the lions contacted the wrong enemy and regretted it. It seems that the hunt is going perfectly. The zebra runs away in a panic but can't break away. One or two more jumps, and the lioness will be on the back of the striped ungulate, with overwhelm the prey with a powerful blow, get to the throat, strangle, and bring the prey to the bride. But she underestimated the accuracy of this ungulate in vain. Right on the run, the zebra strikes a crushing blow with both hind legs right into the lioness's chest. It remains to be hoped that the predatory cat survived, but the fact that this blow broke several of her ribs is a fact. This is not a unique case when a lioness attacked the wrong zebra. Here the lioness got to the zebra's throat, but the ungulate responded with furious resistance. The lioness has a funny telepathy on the back of a striped horse and cannot suppress the victim's resistance. As a result, the zebra hits the lioness several times on the ground, then turns over, throws her off, and finally kicks her before running away. Even praiseworthy perseverance could not change this situation. Hyenas are the main enemies and competitors of lions. The reason for this is their very similar lifestyle. Both species prefer open plains, lead a gregarious lifestyle, hunt in groups for approximately the same herbivores. Because of this competition, the lions are much stronger, but hyenas take numbers. And they attack their competitors in whole gangs, looking for an opportunity to catch the lions alone. Look at this epic battle, where a whole pack of hyenas attacked one very young male lion. Each spotted predator is dangerous in and of itself. Their jaws can chew through bone, and they perfectly coordinate their actions for a joint attack and act very tough. Together, this is a real strike force that attacks the lion to get rid of the competitor forever. There are just too many hyenas. The lion scatters the hyenas, drives them away with his menacing roar, and each blow of his paws can throw the enemy away like a broken doll. But he does not have time to go into a counterattack, as hyenas attack from different sides, and especially often from the back. The lion fights bravely, but his ardor gradually subsides. The mighty predator realizes too late that he has contacted the wrong opponent. This is not a random attack. Young lions are expelled from their native pride in order to avoid closely related ties. The teenager must survive, grow up, and win a new pride. Hyenas know about this period of the lion's life, when he has not yet entered full force and does not have the protection of his relatives. They literally hunt such teenagers to prevent the appearance of a competitor in the future. Hyenas attack purposefully and do not allow themselves to be intimidated. They intelligently attack its weakest points, the hind legs, and its genitals. The lion is shocked by such pressure. Notice how its rage is replaced by fear, and then despair. It's a pity for that lion, isn't it? This is not the only case when hyenas overcome a lion with numbers and pressure. Look at the 12.5. There is only one lion. He went on the defense. To protect his groin and hind legs, he has to sit down, which means he loses maneuverability and the last chance to get out of against the rocks at a cliff. And just as water can gradually destroy any rock, so here the lion gradually lower, and the hyenas, on the contrary, increase their momentum, act more aggressively, and bolder. Fortunately, this story does not have such a sad ending. The sound his brother saved him literally at the last moment. Even lions should not underestimate hyenas, but this fraternal mutual assistance should be given a like, shouldn't it? The buffalo is twice as large and massive as the male lion and about 4 times stronger than the female. Of course, when a whole pride attacks one ungulate, it has little chance to resist. Even one-on-one, a lion can overcome a young buffalo due to aggression and the incredible strength with which the predator demolishes the victim to the ground. But buffaloes are herd animals. And unlike the more panic-prone herbivores, these animals know about their strength and are ready to use it. Even one buffalo can lift a lioness on its horns and send her on a short flight. A herd of buffaloes is a force that will crush even such a strong enemy. As you can see, the lions did not immediately realize that the buffaloes were set up for a serious battle, so the predators allowed themselves to be almost surrounded. Enraged at their enemies, the buffaloes charged one at a time. The lions hold their formation, because if they falter, they will simply be trampled. Gradually, the buffaloes crowd the enemies and win more and more space. The lions can only retreat. In another similar case, the lions escaped only because they managed to climb trees away from the horns of the ungulates. If not for this, the predators would have a very sad fate. Buffalo horns are a terrible weapon. The sharp ends can cause piercing wounds, and the dense middle acts like a huge hammer. In addition, do not underestimate the hoof blows that bulls trample on the enemy, mixing it with dust. The scenes of the confrontation between lions and buffaloes look epic, but if a large group of bulls gathers, you can only sympathize with the lions. Even if you are a predator weighing more than 1/4 of a ton, and the whole power of the pride is behind you, attacking elephants is a bad idea. These lions realized it is too late. Here they behave like cold-blooded predators who slowly close the ring around the poor victims. But when these elephants get tired of this performance that is happening, they quickly remind the lions who's in charge here. And now the lions are trying to escape from the angry giants, each of which weighs like a minibus. If the elephants catch up, they will simply trample the brazen predators. Lions are one of the few predators that can fight even such a water monster as an adult crocodile. But this does not mean that the reptile always loses. Sometimes it successfully repels prey from the lions and even cripples one of them. Here you see the consequences of the competition between a lioness and a crocodile. The reptile has a bite force several times greater than that of a lion. If there had been a single predator in place of the lioness, such an injury would have been fatal. But thanks to the help of her pride relatives, the lioness has a chance. She can participate in the hunt as a beater. And if the jaws heal enough, this will not prevent her from any eating. But the story could have ended much more sadly. As in the case of this night hunt, when the sisters could not save the lioness from the jaws of the crocodile. The reptile dragged the predator under the water and drowned her. The female fought desperately, but in the water crocodiles are incredibly maneuverable, and the jaws of this cold-blooded monster will not release prey. Male lions are sometimes also given in to the crocodiles. These lions found the carcass of a hippo on the shore and immediately claimed their rights to such prey. The crocodile did not like this. It must be admitted that lions are really brave if they dared to compete with a huge reptile in the water. But this was a mistake. Fortunately, there were no injuries, but when the crocodile's jaws clicked next to the lion's muzzles and almost tore off his paws, this cat probably regretted that she had contacted this rival. The lions had to retreat hastily. A running hippopotamus is a live battering ram that sweeps away everything in its path. Do you doubt his strength? The lioness also doubted the strength, and as a result, the hippopotamus almost bit off her head. This huntress was lucky to be alive after, but running into the wrath of such a giant was a clear mistake. These 3 lions felt invulnerable. 3 strong males, yes. To cope with them, you need a whole army of hyenas. But they were wrong about one thing. This pond belongs to an adult hippopotamus. The weight of this brutal aggressor can reach 3 tons. Powerful jaws crush boots, the ram knocks down rhinos. And in the water, the hippopotamus is all the more comfortable fighting with these 3 impudents. When the hippopotamus attacks, the lions immediately regret that they decided to swim across this lake and to not bypass it. An ordinary day turned into a horror movie for them when huge jaws appear out of the water and it remains only to escape and retreat in panic. The hippopotamus attacked head-on, not afraid of resistance. He has a huge advantage in the water, and the lions retreat in different directions. They swim away quickly, as only on land will they be able to break away from the pursuer. At the last moment, the hippo almost bit one of the lion brothers in half. Fortunately, the males escaped, but they will not approach this lake anymore. The lioness made a fatal mistake when she contacted the black mamba. Despite their physical strength, lions are just as vulnerable to toxins as most other animals. And although these cats have agility and grace, they are far from distant relatives who hunt snakes. Oddly enough, a domestic cat has more chances to fend off a black mamba than a lioness, simply because this is a smaller mass and it is easier to stay fast, and it is more difficult to hit a small target. Here the snake managed to reach the victim with its venomous fangs and inject a couple of drops of neurotoxins into the lioness's body. This turned out to be enough to cause terrible pain, which turned into convulsions and trembling. In addition, the lioness feels the symptoms of poisoning. Most likely, the snake is already far away by this time and has forgotten about the skirmish. Meanwhile, every moment it becomes more difficult for the lioness to breathe. The neurotoxins block the muscles that are responsible for the work of the lungs. In a matter of minutes, in front of helpless relatives, the lioness suffocates. It remains only to sympathize with her and hope that other members of the pride will remember such a terrible lesson and will avoid meeting with poisonous snakes at all costs. However, snakes do not even have to bite to repel such a predator as a lion. There are several cases that hit the camera lens where lions are dealing with a spitting cobra. This is a very dangerous snake, which, as it is easy to understand from the name, is able to attack its toxin remotely. The channels that release the venom are not turned downwards, as in other snakes, but forward. The snake strains a special group of muscles and releases a whole stream of venom under pressure. The toxin flies at a distance of about 10 to 14 feet, 3 to 4 meters. And at the same time, the snake, of course, can bite if its defensive weapon failed and the enemy came too close. This ability is used only for self-defense and never for hunting. And here's why. Snake toxin is not capable of causing serious damage if it gets on the skin of another animal. Maximum irritation of the skin surface. Another thing is the mucous membranes, and the main purpose of the cobra is the victim's eyes. If a cobra gets there with even a drop of poison, it will cause terrible pain and burn. The venom of this type of snake acts on the eyes like acid. Even a minimal amount of toxin is able to scare away a few lions. If the poison gets into the eyes in an amount of less than a drop, the victim is threatened with irreversible blindness due to the destruction of the structures of the eye. Therefore, researchers of spitting cobras studied that these snakes indense large glasses that completely protect the eyes. In addition, a person can wash off the toxin from the skin. But lions don't carry bottles of water with them. Therefore, the meeting of cats with these poisonous snakes is extremely dangerous. A cobra most likely will not bite a predator who dared to disturb and frighten the snake. But a snake can cripple several lions. She shoots poison in a wide arc. The jet splits into individual droplets, which increases the area of the lesion. And since the reptile accurately aims at the head, the chances of dodging the cat are minimal. Lion cubs are especially at risk. They have no experience of encountering snakes. They perceive a small reptile not as a terrible threat, but as a victim for games. But regardless of age, getting involved with a spitting cobra is a very bad idea for lions.